No, I never knew they made one that big, holy smokes.
Make a 12-inch handheld planer too, so
Yep.
it's a hold on to that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's better when it's all, I think the blades get all dull.
Very dull, very dull,
It's old, yeah.
but it worked.
All right, I've got 5 o'clock. Call the meeting to order today, Monday, July 17th, 2023. Roll call, we have Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Eric Eaton, Mackenzie Jewett, myself, Jamie Thurlow, and Town Manager Jesse Dunbar. And Kevin has called and said he won't be making tonight's meeting.
I'll make a motion to.
Excuse.
Yeah,
Excuse Kevin Buck.
Kevin
Yeah.
Buck. Yes, thank you.
I got you.
I guess that, I couldn't remember what I was saying.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Kevin from tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, adoption of agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change? All right, now we'll go on to public hearing. We have Seal Cove Auto Museum's liquor license. I think it's the same thing that we do every year, same event. I will call the public hearing at 5:01. Are there any comments or questions? Nothing? All right. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 5:02.
I'll make a motion to approve the request of the Seal Cove Auto Museum for state special event liquor license for his barbecue fundraiser to be held on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 12 to 6 p.m. at the museum.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request of Seal Cove Auto Museum for a state special event liquor license for its barbecue fundraiser to be held Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the museum. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Next, we have approval of minutes. We have the minutes from June 20th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 20, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from June 20th, 2023. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have warrants. We have from fiscal year 23, we have warrant 127 for $602.24, 128, $18,515.74, warrant 129 for $71,225.80, 130 for $42,978.67, 131 for $18,878.64, 132 for $20,306.83, 133 for $27,735.80, and then from FY24 we have warrant 1 for $11,016.81, 2 for $22,932.14, warrant 3 for $12,510.79, and warrant 4 for $135,593.15.
I'll make a motion to approve warrants for fiscal year 23, 127 through 133, and then fiscal year 24, warrants 1 through 4.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve warrants 127 through 133 from FY23 and warrants 1 through 4 from FY24. Is there any discussion? Only thing I was thinking, Jesse, is that we already approved a warrant for 24 that was 1.
Yeah, Jan just had to reclassify.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure. I just happened
Yep.
to.
Yeah, it got shifted to 23 prepay.
Okay. All those in favor?
I can't be on 129, but I can approve the rest.
Okay.
Want me to do them separate then? You want me to?
You want to do 23 and then 24?
Okay.
You just abstain.
Okay, so if we,
Okay, then I'll take back my motion and then make a motion for fiscal year 23, 127 through 133.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 127 through 133 from fiscal year 23. Any discussion? All those in favor? And Eric recuses himself from that.
And then I'll make a motion for fiscal year 24, 1 through 4.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 1 through 4 for fiscal year 24. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Now we have a resignation from Sarah White for on the Acadia National Park Advisory Committee Board.
Yes, so there's a copy of her email, in your
Mhm.
packet. And she would like to resign, and hopes that the current appointee, Carolyn Callie Gothard, would be able to continue as Tremont's representative on the advisory commission. Currently, the way it works, your nominee gets sent to the Department of the Interior, and they confirm them. That process can take as long as it takes, so your nomination of Sarah still hasn't made it through the Department of the Interior yet. So Callie has still been serving, because she serves until the nomination is confirmed. So they, if you change your nomination, then that'll get sent down. The park doesn't know exactly the process of whether it will catch the first one or not, but they seem to think it might. But they can't say with the Department of the Interior. Either way, he said whatever the town desires will be what happens, but just
Mhm.
So this might not catch up with the Department of Interior? Like
He
they
said
might put
yes.
Sarah through still and then
they could, but
what happens to Callie?
I believe they'll work it out that she can
Okay.
continue.
Okay.
They just
Okay.
don't know how the department
Right.
works.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to accept the resignation from Sarah White and to nominate Carolyn Gothard to the seat on the Acadia National Park Advisory Commission expiring April 25th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the resignation from Sarah White and to nominate Caroline Gothard to the seat on the Acadia National Park Advisory Commission expiring April 25th, 2026. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Next, we have financial reports.
Alright. So these reports are as of June 30th, 2023, which is 100% of the way through the fiscal year. Under revenues, in June, we collected $16,706 in property taxes, bringing total collections for the year to 97.48% of the budget. We also collected $53,184 in motor vehicle excise tax, resulting in total collections there of 120.77% of what was budgeted, well ahead of pace from all recent years where we tracked it. We received $22,099 in homestead reimbursements from the state, $20,654 from Acadia National Park for payment in lieu of taxes, $2,881 in tree growth reimbursement from the state, $1,126 in veterans exemption reimbursement, $807 in renewable energy reimbursement, $1,184 in registration agent fees, $627 in plumbing permits, $1,478 in building permits, $3,946 in 175th celebration donations, and approximately $685 in checking interest. Under expenses, a couple notable expenses, the administration cost center came in under budget for the fiscal year at 91.99%. In June, we had additional expenses of $4,400 for select board pay, $1,638 in office supplies, $1,463 in deeds and discharges, $336 in CEO expenses, $1,628 in attorney's fees, $882 in advertising, and $1,075 in repairs and maintenance. In debt services, we made the annual payment on the fire truck in the amount of $45,951. And in the Public Works Cost Center, we came in under budget for the fiscal year at 94.82%. In June, some notable expenses included $7,445 for the new fire alarm at the Public Works Garage, $495 in training expenses, $936 in cemetery supplies, $564 in culverts and signs, $1,399 on Carter Road grading and gravel, $1,059 on Clark Point Road, $1,187 on sweeping supplies, $785 in gas, $766 in supplies, and $1,700 in small equipment for a new lawn tractor trailer. In the general ledger, we received $11,243 in revenue sharing from the state in June, bringing total receipts for FY '23 to $157,671, or 120% of what was budgeted for the year. In the town office reserve, you'll see the reduction of $36.74 for the fire alarm panel replacement.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
I make a motion to accept the July 2022 through June 2023 physical reports. Or
Second.
financial reports, sorry.
Second.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. It's been moved and seconded to accept the July 2022 through June 2023 financial reports. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, now we're on to regular business. First thing we have is the town wharf titled Fourth Hoist. I happened to be at the Harbor Committee meeting the night they talked about this for other stuff, and they're looking to put a fourth hoist on the dock. I'm not sure how much it's gonna get used, but I think they figure maybe it will be a relief for some of the other hoists. And basically, I think Larry's here as well, but they're just trying to keep the cost down. Would like to keep it around $15,000, so they wanted to come to us and basically get some bids and see where we're at. Bye.
The other thing with that is that the reason why they wanted that fourth hoist is the bait truck wouldn't have to move so much.
Yep.
And when it moves, it torques the dock.
Yep.
And could have long-term structural damage, so that's the one reason, that's what sold me about it, but.
Yep. I know.
It was explained at the Harbor Committee meeting that the two trucks on the wharf, and one of them moves and one of them does not.
Mhm.
So people can't use the one hoist if the one truck doesn't move.
You don't wanna hear my 2 cents about that, because they don't own where they park. A lot of businesses pay the same fees, and you need to be able to work with people and move and, but that's neither here nor there. And what's the weight limit on the dock, by the way? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, I know, but it's good if it relieves some pressure off from a hoist, I guess. The only thing is gonna be, after looking, we didn't, or at least I didn't hear the conversation about finances. There's not really a ton there's some in there to use, but there's not a lot extra. I hate to see it drain down too low,
We're kind of
some-
leaving that up to you.
Yeah, I know, well, that's what it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the wharf capital reserve has $15,000 in it, with another 5 going in this month. But you're pretty well cutting yourself down to nothing, but then the wharf fund balance, has 35 in it, so that's a little bit better.
Right, so the wharf fund balance is the balance that all the expenses and revenue go in and out of
Mhm.
all year. So that's the starting balance, for the fiscal year typically grows a couple thousand each year, depending on revenue and expenses.
Yeah.
So its current balance is 35,969. Additionally, they discussed at the harbor committee whether or not, the select board could look at using any ARPA funds towards it, not necessarily the whole expense of it, but did you wanna use any of those remaining funds towards the expense of the postage? There's currently 32,000 that hasn't been designated for anything in that reserve.
Larry, have you guys talked about, when you're gonna start like redecking some of the dock yet, or, cause some
So I
spots
haven't
are,
heard anything about that, I mean,
because that's coming up too, and that's a lot more important than a hoist. I do agree, I think a hoist would be good there, but I hate to spend the money and then not have it for redecking or just touching up the rest of the dock to keep it structurally sound.
yeah.
That's
Or
my only
emergency.
concern. That's my concern.
And
Yeah.
another thing, I came in late to the discussion, I was running behind that night, but, if you ever moved the harbor master shack off from the wharf, then this new hoist would become much more, accessible, and then it would be much more appealing, cause you could back over there and be able to use it a lot. I think where the location is right now, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be tight to get up in there and do much with it, but.
It's gonna be between the flag and the corner, right?
Yes, yeah, but it's just, when people, it's real tight between the building and where that is. I mean, you can do it, there's just not much room for anything else. But,
When do the ARPA funds expire? You gotta use them by a certain date, right?
You have to designate your use by December 31st, 2024, and use them by December 31st, 2026.
And Eric, what do you think roughly just, you're gonna put in a piling, I don't even know if you would ever even bid on this, but I'm just saying, what do you think for cost, just off the top of your head, just to drive the piling, secure it to the dock, don't even include the hoist, cause at least if they get the piling in and secured, then they could slowly, if it took a little bit to get the wire run over, but just that part of it, cause it's gonna,
less than $3,000.
really,
Right,
just
right
for that.
around there,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. And that's what I was thinking, even if you had to do it kind of in a couple, if it got too expensive and you had to pause for a second and finish it.
Yeah, I was hoping that the hoist would be under 15,000, but obviously I didn't see all the estimates there.
Well, they're not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to send it out to bid.
I mean, I don't know how much the motor costs, but it's not that much in the electrical part of it, but I would think that it could be done under 10. But
Elon didn't have any good, information from the lecture, from MCA yet.
yeah,
And also, I got thinking after another thing, get thinking of this stuff afterwards, but they already have that electric over hydraulic motor down on the corner of
Right,
the
there
dock.
was talk about maybe using that.
Yeah, why not tee into that? I mentioned it to Peter. Tee into that, run the hoses up, and just run another valve off it. Then you wouldn't
Yeah.
have to have,
it's tough putting a hydraulic hoist on a wooden piling though.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
Yeah.
power than the electric ones
Yeah.
anyways.
Hydraulic hoists are a lot more in maintenance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
there's less. They
probably
seem to
less.
be, like at Thurston's, they're trying to convert because the electric ones are constant headaches. The remotes get moisture in them and the motors do, and the hydraulic ones are pretty much just the hoses that run underneath the deck are the only issue. Other than that, it's pretty, and you can get those anywhere. I mean, you can get them made up wherever you need to.
Justin's replacing the remotes.
Constant, yeah. Thurston's just has them like stacked up like cordwood, cause that's all it is. It's just constantly, and then the plugs that you plug them into each other, and then there's always an issue.
I mean, people use the hydraulic ones on, like out on Swan's Island, it's all hydraulic
Yeah,
on a pylon, but
Yep.
usually there's a stay somewhere,
yep,
like a mast stay, which you don't really want that on the town dock,
no.
but steel pylon could be an option.
How much
Just
are they?
Rather
I
than
don't
know.
know.
Couldn't even tell you.
No,
Could figure it out, but.
Yep.
I would say, if you guys wanted to put it out to bid and just see what the final numbers are on everything, that would probably be worth our time.
Yep.
But-
And, would you say, just from your point of view, Eric, get an estimate on a wooden piling being driven and a steel piling being driven, just so that you can,
Yeah, it's just the material difference.
yeah, that's
It's
what
gonna be what it is,
Mhm.
and you gotta fill the steel ones with concrete too,
yep,
after the install.
okay, yep,
So, quite a bit more of an expense probably.
yep,
I don't think the steel's that much, but doing the rest, I could look into it.
okay. Just thinking if you got both options, and then we could weigh it out, cause it might, if it's, $2,000 in the long run, doesn't amount to much.
Yeah, cause the hydraulic motor is probably less than the electric motor and everything
Yeah,
too.
no, it would be, I would
So.
think it'd be a lot, cause you wouldn't have to run the electrical across and mess with it, just run 2 hoses and put some T's in your valve bank you already got. But- And then, of course, the planking on the side of the wharf, for where the stuff would come out.
Oh, sheathing, yeah,
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
Yep. So do we have to decide now where the money would come from, or just wait and get the bids and see?
Yep, if you wanna get bids, then I'd just make a motion to authorize us to seek bids,
Yep.
bring them back.
Larry, you had everything but the motor and the electrical, or?
No, I don't know what I'm not sure if they had the bids for everything.
Okay. I know you had mine, but I don't know if you had KJ's for the actual Davit.
Just the original one that you did for Justin.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's gonna be similar.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't think that's gonna change much whether you went electric or hydraulic as far as
No.
how that's built, so.
What do you wanna do? Just get bids? Need a motion to get bids, Jesse? Make a motion to have the town manager seek bids regarding the installation of a 4th hoist in the Bernard Wharf.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to seek bids regarding installing a 4th hoist at the Bernard Town Wharf. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. The second thing that was there was the Seal Cove ramp. Yes.
But I'm still Butter from the Seal Cove Auto Museum.
Yes.
Sorry to show up late. I was parked up front on my phone trying to figure out where the meeting was.
Oh.
Any questions, problems, anything that we need to
No.
take care of?
No.
Okay. So, I haven't done this before. Do we pick the stuff up from you and send it to the state?
Yep, so you can stop in the morning, pick it
Okay.
up.
I'll swing by, or I'll have Ethan swing by in the morning.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry for coming late.
No, that's
Thanks.
fine. Thanks for coming.
Is this named the same Harvey Kelly that was superintendent in Sullivan forever?
Is it?
No, that's his son.
That's
The
his
son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's this one's son. that was wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks, folks.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Yeah, the Seal Cove ramp, they said there was a lot of undermining underneath the ramp down there, starting to break away some of the cement slabs. So they were talking about, taking up the cement slabs. We already have some out back of the shed out here, so I think you're not gonna have to buy those, so it's just gonna be a little bit of fill, basically, to put in underneath of it and reinforce the edge. And I think from what you guys said, wasn't it, the town crew could do most of the work, I believe? No, it wasn't a huge project.
You might have to get a blue truck.
Yeah, but I mean, it's,
Yeah, I was talking to Elon about that. I would think that case excavator, or not excavator, whatever that thing is, the case would be able to pick those concrete
yeah,
pieces up. They're not very heavy.
500 apiece, I think,
Yeah,
that's what they're.
that should be able to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think either Scotty or
just putting something underneath of it and more on the edge of it.
I think Elon said pulling 5 of them.
5.
2 of them are broken, but there's undermining under 3 more.
Yeah,
So
I know
pull
what that's
5,
all
fill it
about. It's just constantly trying to keep stuff underneath of it.
Yeah, just settling and
Yeah.
whatever it's doing.
So that's gonna be a low expense, so what do you need for us? I mean, we don't really have to approve any,
Just to authorize using the, Silco fund since it's not budgeted.
okay.
in Silco budget.
I'll make a motion to authorize the repairs of the Seal Cove ramp with money from the Seal Cove fund.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the repairs to the Seal Cove ramp with money from the Seal Cove fund. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Next, we have the Wharf House. I'll let you take that one, Jesse.
So, as you know, we've had tons of conversations about the future of the Wharf House. And on the, night of July 4th, there was, an incident at the Wharf House. It ended up getting struck by a stray firework, through the window of the front of it. It lodged in the, baseboard heater in the kitchen area of the house. The person who accidentally shot it through there, kicked in the door and broke another window to get in and put the fire out. They extinguished the fire, called the fire department. It was out when you got there, Clint. And then they vented the house, for the smoke. The individual that caused the incident has boarded up the window, cleaned up the broken glass, re-secured the door on hinges. And so, 2 reasons really for it being on the agenda. One is if there's anything else that you would like the individual to do, in regards to the damage or the incident. And secondly, if you want to discuss moving in any direction with the Wharf House. I did have a conversation with the code enforcement officer about its, potential replacement. I've heard from some in the community that would like the house to be redone and rented. But
Oh, boy.
there's varying opinions on whether or not that's possible. But the code officer said that if it has not been a residential structure for 5 years, for the last 5 years, it cannot be resumed as a residential structure where it's located in the commercial fisheries maritime activity zone. It has to be, resumed within a year, and then the planning board can give a year extension, but they can't go beyond that.
And how long has it been?
I
Roughly.
believe over 5.
Okay.
Is what I've heard. There's, the CEO would recommend, if you do want to replace it, that you move forward with some sort of design as to what you want to replace it with. He is awaiting an answer from the DEP as to whether or not Harbor Master's building is considered a water-dependent use by the DEP for that zone. If it is or isn't, depends on the process for replacing it. If it is a water-dependent use, then the new building can be situated wherever you would like it in relation to the shore. Therefore, it would require just a CEO building permit. If it's not a water-dependent use, then it's a non-conforming structure being too close to the water, so you need planning board approval to replace it that close to the water. So, either way, it's possible to replace it there, it just dictates which approval route that you need to go through.
How could a harbor master out of all jobs be possibly not a water dependent use? Honestly.
It's the state though,
It's
right?
the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this 100 times before, and every time, it seems like it starts out simple and very, you know, reasonable, I think. And then last time it went to having showers and other bathrooms and a second story and all this stuff, and it's, I mean, we need to do something with it. It can't just sit there and rot forever. But you need to have a game plan, cause you only have 1 year to from when you tear it down, right?
2, right?
If it's a water dependent use, then it doesn't matter, other than you run the risk of the state changing its rules. But if it's water dependent, there's no time limit for the 1 year is like, cause it's too close.
Oh, okay.
Non-conforming, so you can replace it where it is within a year. But if it's, doesn't require a setback, then there's no limit, cause you can put it wherever you want it.
Cause that's what zone my dock is in, and I had a year to rebuild ours. And I remember we were on, like,
Could you extend the?
and obviously we were water dependent, you know, it's a
Yeah,
fish and
yeah,
more, it's a,
yeah.
Well, your
Yeah.
permit's good for a year.
no,
It
this
is.
was a DEP, was
DEP?
push it, yeah.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure that we don't
Yep.
bulldoze it and then in a year and a half or 2 years, they say, oh, sorry
Right,
guys.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Isn't the harbor master pursuing a grant for the design cost?
I don't
We're,
know.
I mean, we're
Mm.
looking at grants, but so far there's nothing,
Nothing has been
no.
submitted.
Yeah, I just think you know, when we've talked about this in the past, I think restoring the house would be great if you could get someone to restore it for a reasonable amount of money, but we have seen what the bids have come in at for very basic buildings around here, and you'd dump probably $300,000 into that house without any issue at all, and.
The windows have still got the sticker on.
Yeah, no, I know. It'd be nice to take the windows out.
And I mean, we're lucky we haven't had any other vandalism down there or anything like that, so we really need to make up our minds and figure something out.
It comes down to how big you want it to be and where the money's coming from.
Yeah,
Does it really need to be big? I
No.
mean, if we just do an office?
Two bay garage with a little office and a workspace on one side and a
Yeah.
bay for the boat on the other side.
Yeah. And we
Justin
don't,
did a footprint plan, I don't know if you ever saw that.
yeah. And then we saw the original and then it just got amplified,
Well,
cause
I
it
did
was,
see it get amplified.
we were 40, I originally said, same thing Eric just said, build a 24 square garage, you know, or 24 by 28 and have your office and work bay in the other side and still use the porta potties because it's just less headaches. Or if you could
Yeah.
tie into the septic easily, then do it for a private one, but don't do it as a public, you know,
Yeah.
it could just be for the harbor master, but,
Yeah.
and that's a very low cost solution, I think, but, yeah. But that's my own personal, that's what I would put
Getting
there.
everyone to agree on it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, what if we pitch that and we get a print done up for what you just said, or what you said?
you know,
Yeah.
simple, easy, we don't need showers, we don't
Nope.
need, you know, all
Simple,
of the
easy,
bells.
clear up the dock a little bit, and have a better workspace for the harbor master and a place to put the boat.
Yep,
That's it.
That's it. Safety equipment.
yeah. My biggest thing would be to clear off the stuff, you know, the building off the dock, that's a lot of
Yeah.
room that, and that, I don't know why you wouldn't want it.
Oh, I think the harbor committee is okay with that, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
our point is to get it off the dock and to
do something?
make a basic place for storage and an office.
I think Howdy had said before too, when you looked at it, that you need a footing wall on you'd need like a full 8-foot wall on one side, wasn't it, or?
Definitely on the back.
Yeah, that's what I thought, you'd need an
And
8-foot
coming down
wall,
the
so you're gonna have
sides,
some
probably
concrete.
halfway and stepping
Yep.
it down.
Yep.
So you might have to turn it a little bit differently than how it's angled right now to make it all work.
Probably wanna
with the-
turn it this way, so it's facing directly at
Yep.
facing the water.
But no, I'm all for if someone wants to draw up something, Jesse, in your spare time. I don't have time right now. Draw up something real basic.
I
just
could
to-
have it done on this piece of paper here.
Yeah, exactly.
Just some graph paper and.
Yeah. But then, just the septic, I mean, it's functional, isn't it, in the
Well,
water?
I was, so.
So it should be, I mean, I would think you could put in a bathroom
Just a easy, yeah.
just for the harbor master.
Mhm.
That wouldn't get too, and then at least you have water there, so if you need water.
Running water, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
Yeah, Keith.
Is there any way to get someone down there with a weed whacker, try to make it at least look more presentable and a little more, and, yeah, I think it's been 5 years, so, I don't know, maybe it gets done every year, but when we had always do find steps to try to get up,
Yeah,
grassed in, and,
yeah.
and then I guess you probably have signage, I'm sure you have signage up there to keep out, but it's
Yep.
pretty distressed building.
Yeah, I know when we went through it, and I can't remember, right after the last
Years ago.
occupant left, and all the board went in there, I was thinking, yeah, it was less than 5 years, but maybe it's been 5 years.
Was nervous just going up the
Yeah,
stairs.
It was
yes.
bad.
that was
I
a
mean,
long
it
time
was
ago.
horrible then. Anybody who said we could restore it for very little money, I was like, you need to go through it first.
Yeah.
It was in rough shape then,
Yeah.
very
The,
rough shape.
The harbor master typically did it once or twice a summer, cleared it.
Mhm.
It is on Elon's to-do list, as
Weed
our,
whacking or mowing, is that what you're, yeah.
as our making sure there's signs posted on both entrances.
Yeah, you don't want
Did you say
anybody in there.
I was gonna say, do we have something like on the front of the deck so no one goes up on the deck and falls through?
Right, that's what I've asked him to make
Okay.
sure it's
Yep.
put up.
Just so we write something, just to cover
Yeah.
everybody.
Send them to McEachern and Hutchins, they got all kinds of signs.
He did pick them up, I saw him in his office.
All right, do you need any motion or anything, or just,
Yeah, if you want, just make one, so.
and you think this is not,
differing opinions, if you wanna make a motion.
and then we wanna, we wanna make sure that we include the harbor committee, but this is just like to just draw something up on a piece of paper and get an idea, and then we'll send it to you guys, and you
Okay.
give us your 2 cents on it, and,
We
go
had
from
some
there.
drawn up, just a rough plan,
Yep,
footprint.
I know, if we could go a little further with it this
Yeah.
time and get someone to go out and look at the groundwork and see, like, Howdy or whoever, just to say, this is what you're gonna need, you're gonna need an 8-foot wall and a 4-foot wall, and then at least get it, get it moving a little further, cause it seemed to die out every time I've seen it, so, but, yeah.
The design team in Hammond, if you got a schedule, though,
Really? Okay.
highly paid town manager, John.
Yeah.
They can do it all on CAD and get you materials and
Yeah.
stuff like that or something.
Actually, that's right,
That's a good idea.
Keith did it for the school, for that building out there, and it wasn't that crazy expensive either, that was quite a good sized building, wasn't it 24 by 60 or something you did? Yeah, that's right.
Larry,
Just
do
have
you
to
still
think
have
of-
that sketch?
I think I have it on a roll. Justin did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not too much trouble, could you dig it out, if you can
Yeah.
find it, and,
I think I can find it, and
Yeah.
have Jesse,
Yeah, I'm gonna see if
Take a
that's.
look.
they probably have it in the office.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna see Justin tomorrow, then ask him, I'm sure he
Yeah.
kept a copy of it,
There
yeah.
might be one in the cover there.
Yep,
sure he did the same footprint as what's there.
No,
right?
it's a lot.
Dimensions.
it's a lot bigger than you think for Eric, it was like 40 feet one way, and that's why it started, people wanted to keep the footprint, so then you'd be like 40 by 20, or I can't remember the
So
dimensions.
the
but-
sketch was smaller than
And
what's
yeah,
there.
yeah, but
That's
then
fine.
it got so big that
Yeah.
it's like, this is gonna be a $300,000 building, and I was looking for like a $25,000 building, I'm looking for just a quick.
24 by 28, like you said, it's perfect.
Call up that Central Maine Builders and have them come down, and the one, like that did Scotty's shop there, they build it in an afternoon and see ya.
And if you can bring it towards the water more and keep it away from that bank, you might be able to just rip wrap the bank and put a swale behind it and just pour slab.
Or so, yeah, that'd save you even more money.
That'd be
Yeah.
big.
You think we can stay away from the engineers for that?
Right.
Yep. That's what we want. Very simple, very, yeah.
Just the depends on how close we gotta go to that bank, I guess. If we can keep away from it, then we can have
Well,
some.
if Jesse finds out that that's, you know, I can't believe it wouldn't be a use, but then there's no setback, is that correct, Jesse?
Right, it's water dependent.
Yeah, so you could
Setback.
bump it out to where the front of the deck is and you'd have all
Right.
kinds of room for a ditch in behind it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, cheap as
Mhm.
possible,
Yep.
efficient.
Yep.
Then if we ever come into Northeast Harbor money, then we can build something bigger.
There was talk back, when we were talking about this, about getting a quote for, just, demoing it. Have you ever seen that? Or taking it down?
Getting who to do it?
That, I don't know who did it, but they supposedly got a quote for it.
Oh, I think Gott's would, I think Timmy had, before we had talked about at
Yeah.
least getting a quote. I didn't know if anybody ever did, but,
Yeah, I don't know if they did either.
yeah. You might even be able to talk Peter into, into helping a little bit with that, maybe, demoing and then someone just running the truck to cut back on the expense a little bit, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that will be a huge deal. I just never want to see anything happen to it in case, and then you go to wanna do something and everything takes time. You take 3 years later and whoops, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion, or do you just wanna go with, see if we can round up the old plans and someone take them to Hammond Lumber and?
Yeah, maybe.
Alright. A motion to authorize the town manager to have plans drafted to replace the workhouse with the harbor master building.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to have plans drafted to replace the wharf house with a harbor master's building. And we're all kind of in agreement that we wanna keep it fairly small, so not, I don't know what these, drawings were, but 24, 28, or what, it just reached, 2-car garage.
Yep.
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay. All right, next we have climate smart working waterfront. Jesse.
So the Gulf of Maine Research Institute, that was contracted to perform work related to the resiliency plan through the Community Resilience Partnership Grant, reached out as part of the conversation of introducing themselves and doing this work for us, that they're gonna be having 4 case study working waterfront communities on the coast of Maine, to do with, ensuring working waterfronts thrive in a warmer world. There's some information in your packet on what it means, to be a case study, community, what the benefits are, and so they wanted to know if we were interested in being one of those 4, communities, so I said I would bring it to you.
And it
There's
looks-
no, cost to the town other than staff time if they have to ask us questions or need us to facilitate anything. But it goes through the process of what they'd be looking to gain for information, and then essentially they'd be presenting, what they find to the rest of the working waterfront communities as a template on the coast.
The only thing I could see, or one of the things I could see that would be positive out of that would be funding, if they did find that, if we're one of the few that working waterfronts that have been chosen, maybe we would be more apt to get funding to make changes, like to the dock or something. I don't know, that's all I could think.
Right, so it's, they hope to establish a model approach, for use by state officials, legislators, municipal governments, regional
guys think?
I see.
Eric?
I don't know, I'm just thinking if they find something that might shut down some things too, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just leery about getting those type involved in.
Who are the other three towns, do you know?
I do not know.
Is that like statewide? Or not just on the island? They're picking
Right,
four
right.
towns?
Yes.
Okay, not
Four
just.
in the state.
Statewide.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Maybe we let them study other towns.
Right,
I don't know.
Eric, what do you think? You're on the water.
When we see it, I mean, I'm seeing it, everyone wants to raise their docks consistently. I don't see how it could, I don't think it would hurt. And it would provide us with information. I think it's mostly just providing us with information and communities around us.
Correct.
Mhm.
I don't think they're out to have anything go the other way. I mean, a negative impact, I don't think that's what they're trying to do, but, you know, it would look good if we wanted to get funding in the future, if they said, oh, your dock's 2 feet low, well, there's all your new decking layer right there, you know? Get funding, you know, because they'd have more information from a source, a good source, I don't know.
It does
Yeah.
seem to be, some projects, or project isn't the right word, but some things look to what should you replace your working waterfront with, should there be climate issues or, issues with lobstering. This one seems to be how to adapt the working waterfront and
Mhm.
keep it working waterfront with the changing climate, and not
And that's the way I read it too.
replace it with a
Seems-
type of,
yeah.
you know.
Seems like they're trying to
Economic.
figure out ways to keep waterfront working.
Give it a try, I guess.
Do you guys?
I mean, right in the title, ensure working waterfronts thrive in warmer water, in a warmer world, so, I mean, hopefully they mean that's their goal, I would think that it would be.
They start talking about putting windmills off here and everything else, then we'll have a different discussion.
Opening doors here, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what.
But it's all suggestions anyway, so we can throw them right out the window if we want to.
Yeah.
I will say every climate research institute or project or Climate to Thrive, any that I've talked to have seemed to understand the working waterfront and the wind power do not go together.
Yeah.
And there's no desire to mesh them together, so we had those conversations.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it, I don't think it'll hurt.
And like you said, I mean, if we don't like the suggestions, we don't
Right,
have to
that's all
take
it is.
them. We
They're-
don't have to-
They're trying to find a place to do some research and, you know, it doesn't mean we have to agree with them.
Okay. motion either way.
Yeah, even.
Yep.
October first of last year through September 30th of next year is the time.
And it's not gonna cost you guys any more time in the office, cause we're short-staffed as it is on a good, we don't know, okay.
You don't know.
Crickets, crickets. I'll make a motion, then we can vote, I guess, right?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to inform the Gulf of Maine Research Institute and the town of Tremont would be interested in being one of their case study working waterfront communities.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to inform the Gulf of Maine Research Institute that the town of Tremont would be interested in being one of their case study working waterfront communities. Is there any discussion? Kept thinking we should have asked Larry, you're here from the Harbor Committee. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that and as far as the comprehensive plan too, we touch on that too, that any support from the town, support changes for the working waterfronts so they can continue on is what should be done, information. Because everything's gonna have to change.
Yeah.
Not just because of climate change, but everything changes anyway, so.
Yeah.
Should this go to the Harbor Committee?
Get this free information to help you.
Do you think it should go to the Harbor Committee? or
Should
no?
it?
But
Yeah.
it's usually.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. Next, we have fire radio upgrade. This is, I think I got this all down. This is what we had talked about before, correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but, it just looks like there was more of a charge than what we thought there would be, basically $3,000 more.
Yeah, there was, unfortunately, there was no real communication with dispatch that they were upgrading their equipment. And then they originally told us that all our equipment would tie in together. But, then, they came in, they weren't able to interconnect our stuff with their new stuff, so. Miscommunication,
Yep.
and then after 2 or 3 attempts, they have it up and running now, working. Yeah, but,
Yeah, so it looks like you guys selected Browns to do the new equipment, and then RCM was the company Southwest got their equipment from, I guess.
why?
And so then RCM required this for connecting the rounds and work, communicate together.
Yeah.
We thought they were gonna hit the switch and everything was gonna work fine, and the guys got 2 days there and couldn't get it to do anything, so.
Yep. Strange that Southwest didn't use the same company that you know, that we did.
Yeah, bad blood somewhere there, I think.
How much money do they have in their equipment reserve account?
So prior to the, 7,000 you already authorized, it was around 25,000, so.
So they have money in their
Yep.
equipment reserve account, so we're not,
Yep.
okay. That's equipment, huh?
Yeah, I motion to authorize using the fire equipment reserve to pay for the RCM invoice in the amount of $3,296.32 for the Tremont Fire Department radio upgrade.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize using the fire department, equipment reserve to pay the RCM invoice in the amount of $3,296.32 for the Tremont Fire Department radio upgrade. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have, same thing, title is Workman's Comp Safety Incentive Program / Fire Department. Jesse, you want to explain that a little bit to us? Just-
Yep.
I think I understand this is a program, Chris. Oh,
Yes.
just see my pen just come undone? Yeah, I'm not throwing things,
Shot
I
it
swear. My pen just came
Duct
undone and
tape.
went all the way across the room. There's a spring. Yeah, no, you don't have to give it to me. I said, what was that? Thank you very much.
Yes, this was a workers' comp safety incentive program, is offered through Maine Municipal, which is our insurance provider, for the town, including the workers' comp insurance. And since, 2021, the former manager enrolled us in the, workers' comp safety program. The town has a safety committee that's comprised of myself, the clerk, public works foreman, the harbor master. We meet quarterly to review any instant reports, facilities inspections. There's a set of bylaws that the committee adopted, and it goes over different policies that we have. Video display, terminal training, back safety checklist, slip, trip, and fall checklist, and then facilities checklist at all the facilities, and a bloodborne pathogens and hazard mitigation policy. There's 3 tiers to the safety program, each one requiring different things, either policy adoptions or certain things. The town is currently in tier 2, has been in tier 2 for over a year. There is a discount on the workers' comp policy for the town. It increases at each tier, so currently at tier 2 it's 7.5% or $1,900 for FY23. They verify the enrollment by September 1st to make sure everything's enrolled as we say it is, all the policies are in place as we say they are, to confirm our level of participation in the safety program. So last month, MMA came out to do a check here and at the fire station in Bass Harbor, and he informed us that because the fire department is included on the workers' comp, they have to be at the same level of participation that the town is at in order for the town to retain its participation in the program. So the fire department would need to adopt said policies that the town has adopted by September 1st in order for everything to maintain the way it is. I did ask MMA if a simple option would be amending our bylaws and our policies to include the fire department to save time on everybody's plate of adopting policies over again. And they did say that was an option. We just amend the policies and then give a copy of them to the fire department, and they need to sign, the members would need to sign a signing sheet that they've received those policies. So I did let the fire chief know that. The fire chief has expressed his opinion that he does not agree with the program the town's enrolled in. So I did relay that to MMA, and they advised that I talked to the town's attorney about what to do to keep the town enrolled. And so the town attorney has advised that we request the fire department comply either with their own policies or by having us amend ours by a specific date, so that the town doesn't lose its participation in the program. Or remove them from our workers' comp if they choose not to. So, he suggested the select board authorize me to send that letter, before doing it.
Okay.
So the easy solution is for them to just get on our policies,
That'd be the
That's
easiest,
the
and
easiest.
quickest. Yeah.
What's so different?
yeah.
than-
no?
Well, and so my college education is in occupational health and safety, which I think programs like these, the town wants to do health and safety and promote things, but I also don't want to encourage our department to be signing off on policies that, so you break down every part of your job and you have a job safety analysis and you develop your plans around what you need. I would prefer that, Jesse said they would approve them to us to come upstairs here and sign off on policies, whether we receive the training or read it or whatever, but our preference, Jim's already working, our preference would be to do everything in-house. Quite honestly, we had multiple Bureau of Labor Standard reviews in the past, and some of these issues have never been brought up, but, I don't know,
So you're gonna write your own policies by September first?
it's,
They're just job safety analysis.
Yeah,
I've done a
it's
million.
It's not hard.
exactly, most of them are already done, but I disagree with being attached, added to the town policies.
So option 3 is you can do your own thing and get your own
Yeah,
policy.
that's our intention,
Okay.
yeah,
Your intention is to get your own workman's comp policy?
absolutely not.
No,
That's what you just said.
no, they wanna meet the needs.
We'll have our own, instead of being attached to the town office policies, we'll have, the fire department will have their own policies.
Like
and
safety
same-
policies, like safety things that you go over, is that what you mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they gave us a list of
Yeah.
boilerplate trainings.
Yeah.
Instead of asking my members to come upstairs here and sign off on stuff, we'll just do it within, in-house, so.
yeah,
Just to meet the criteria.
And
Yeah,
that will
no, I
make
get it.
MMA happy
For example, we don't need screen
by
when
September
you walk
1st.
away from your screening, we're
Yeah.
doing hazmat training.
yeah, exactly.
It's a lot different
Yeah.
jobs for
No,
So you
as
can
long
get
as-
this done by September 1st though, because there's a deadline. I mean, you're,
Tell the insurance company they work for us, or whatever, Jim's working on it, and then we have a certain amount of meetings.
but we have a deadline.
Oh, well, that's great. We have-
But if you don't meet the deadline, then you've gotta go get your own policy.
Oh, absolutely, I guess. So in the same case, this program, the town.
Yes, right? That's what.
Mackenzie,
yeah.
this will hit right at home for you. Last year's program had us remove members from, I have a guy that lives near you, a young kid that can't perform certain duties, so he can no longer be a member. I have very involved, highly educated people that live out of state that stay here in the summer and can't be members of our department because they didn't meet the criteria. It really narrows down that they don't have lifting programs or ergonomic programs or how to work at a computer desk. So, we don't even have desks or computers at our station. So, I just think the program the town's enrolled in doesn't look at that we need to do training on chainsaws, we need to do training on ladders, we need to do trainings on electric vehicle fires, not trainings on how to work at a computer terminal, desk terminal, so I think we need to create a plan that's specific to the fire department, not a town office, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, so that's.
But that will, I just wanna make sure that makes them happy then, if they have a safety thing, Jesse, is that what you're,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
that's
they can
all
do
they
their
need.
own.
They can say, we want the, we think that, we don't need computer training, we need to have safety, this needs to be done, and that's all they're asking for? Like, that's all?
They'll have to meet whatever,
Yeah, but I mean,
policies they require.
what did they find that was off, or what, it was?
And one of the things is ergonomic training and lifting, and one is sitting at computer terminals and visual, computer display
Yeah.
terminal thing, just stuff that.
And you can explain.
I just think
That
that
doesn't apply
a
to
town
them.
office setting has completely different safety
Yeah.
requirements than a fire department setting.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, I think it's,
I don't know, so I would prefer to have our own program, but I certainly wouldn't involve into a program that steers you. It seems to me like they just want checks next to boxes instead of what you really need, so.
yeah. But honestly, like, I've done a similar thing with a boatyard, and if you get a substantial credit, mean, that's all I'm looking at is your,
I know,
it's a
but I mean,
couple
at what
thousand
point
bucks a
is
year,
there,
yeah.
does the gain in your credit outweigh the effort you're making to get that? I mean, I don't honestly, I mean, safety is a big priority to us.
Mm.
But we're already asking members to do 29 hours of training on certain things and driving each truck 3 hours, and now we're asking them to do training on stuff that's unrelated to what they do. But I just, I don't know, I think the program that you're enrolled in looks at blanket it at certain industries and businesses and town offices instead of what we particularly need. But I commend Jesse's working really hard to this, but I also don't know how much effort you're putting in each year to save $1,800, and it costs an expense you're doing to save $1,800.
Yeah.
So,
And how,
in retrospect to what's occurring is, so I emailed back Jesse that I disagreed that we should come in and participate here in the town office and do it in-house. But in the meantime, we're working towards getting our stuff done. But I don't know, and quite honestly, I called Jesse, I probably let him know a little bit, but I had no idea this was evolving in the direction it's heading.
yeah.
So, until I saw it.
So, so that's all they need, Jesse, right? Because from my understanding of it, when Chris first did this, it was just gonna be like basically half an hour once a year, right? Or just a,
We have quarterly meetings, they usually last 15 minutes.
okay.
And there's, 10, 15 minutes preparing, doing the inspections of the buildings, and it's fairly minimal
Mhm.
time commitment. It took a little bit when it got set up, drafting the stuff, but
Yeah,
moving forward is not.
yeah. Keith,
I
I mean, Heath, sorry.
We've lost a lot of members because all they do is train.
Yeah,
So many requirements, so many trainings, that and guys can't make them. They have jobs or work or families.
yeah,
Any less step that we have to take, every meeting, we're doing some sort of training or some sort of requirement, or writing something off it's just a huge checklist. So there's
Yeah.
stuff that we can delete to keep a member on active status for the number of meetings that we show up, and the annual requirements is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
we can do anything to dumb it down a little for us.
yeah.
Then isn't the easy solution is to get on our policy, then they don't have to write anything.
No, it's just a boilerplate thing to put your name on.
So
And
what?
So, but I mean.
Then
we
the
can do
insurance
it-
company, the attorney, everybody's happy.
Yeah, I think they were kind of misrepresented, but, it's just a piece, Mackenzie, it's just a piece of paper you put your name on. and you
Easy
sign.
done.
Right, so that's why we would like to do it internally, other than the option that Jesse gave us to come here to the town office. It's gonna take more effort for me to get everybody to come by here and sign a piece of paper than.
I don't think it does, though. You could probably take it to one of your meetings, get everybody to sign it at one time.
It probably could, that's not the way.
So it's
But-
pretty simple.
Yeah, but so
Okay.
meanwhile,
Alright.
board's already working to develop plans, and we'll be at our next board meeting, and then when they're prepared, we'll send them to Jesse, but, I'm sure if you told them it was September 3rd or September 5th, that I'm sure they just have to pick a number if our next meeting is, what date it was. But, like I said, if I really felt this program was saving people from getting hurt, instead of just checking boxes, and I'd be 100% on it, but I think it is just a feel-good type program, make people feel better about themselves. So, but this is where it is, and we plan to be in compliant, but, internally instead of combining with the office staff, is what I plan to do.
So if that's what they agree to, do we still need to authorize you to send them a letter, so we have this in writing, that that's their plan by a specific date?
That would be the preference, is that they have satisfied NMA's requirements, so the town can maintain its participation.
Okay.
Do you intend to go to the next level, or level phase 3, or keep continuing, or?
There's just a couple, we already meet like 3 of the 5 steps for the next level, but, so we may not. like a health, plan, which our insurance offers our employees. It's not health insurance, but wellness-ish thing. Wellness plan.
So if we're not all compliant, the town doesn't lose their unemployment, their workman's comp, it's just, you know, tier 3, is that what it is right now?
And we lose the money, that whatever
Yeah. Right.
rebate or whatever refund, whatever.
Credit.
Yeah. Is that what it is, Jesse? You're just kicked out of this program, basically? Yeah. Yeah, no, I wanna see you guys keep as many people as you can. I don't see how this would affect them. That, I know there's a lot of other stuff, hoops you have to jump through and everything else, and it's ridiculous, you know, to have members have to do it, but, I just, you know, this seems to be, you know, you can choose to do it however you want to as far as doing it in-house, and I understand why you're doing it, but if you're on a time crunch for the current time, I would just use the towns, you know, hop onto the towns for the current time, just to get it done with for this year, and then it gives you a whole year to worry about it after that, but that's just my 2 cents. I understand where you're coming from, I just think it would be, you know, it's gonna be one headache right out of the way for now. Then you don't have to stress about it, worry about it, but,
It's a matter of practicing deciding.
okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to send a letter to the fire department requesting compliance with the WCSIP or to be dropped from the town's workman's comp policy.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to send a letter to the fire department requesting compliance with our WCSIP or be dropped from the town's workman's comp policy. Does this, is there any discussion? Is this gonna be, a date involved? Cause it doesn't say in this, so will the letter say the date or, okay, just wanna be sure, yes.
I get what you're trying to point and strong arm or whatever, but I really can't fathom the fact that you'd be considering dropping the fire department over an incentive program on the workers' comp. It's a huge risk. I mean, not saying we won't meet the goal, but for you to make a motion phrase that way, it's pretty strong word.
We're not, I mean, you have 2 other choices. I mean, that's choice number 3, which is the worst case scenario. So it's up to you. You have 2 other choices.
Yeah, you just made a motion to drop us from the fire department. I'm just saying,
Requesting compliance with it. If
Okay.
you don't comply with the
If you don't comply- but it
WCSIP,
gives
then
you-
option number 3 is, it's not hard.
oh, no, I know it's not hard, but I just can't believe that you would phrase something in such a way that it would condemn the fire department, for not participating in a voluntary program. I'm just taking my back, and I'm sure Jim will work hard at getting it done, and we'll have a couple business meetings and sign stuff, but, I guess I'm not impressing what my verbalizing well what I'm saying about the use of the word of dropping us from work is calm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Keith. I don't have any intention, I don't wanna threaten you guys to
Right.
drop you from
Right.
workman's comp,
Right.
that's stupid. But we just need to make it work somehow, so
Right.
if,
But if it wasn't worded that way, is what you're saying.
It just seems, it just.
Make a great headline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drop in the fire department.
Yeah. But we're not, I understand both sides, I get where you're both coming from, but we shouldn't have to even word that, we shouldn't even have to say that.
Right,
It should
exactly.
just be, come in,
We need to be compliant.
sign the thing, and it's done. And then it's, like I just said, I know you wanna do what you wanna do for this upcoming year, but why not just come in, sign the thing, and it's all behind you for a year? And then it's done, that's just my, like, I know you might not worry about computer training and everything else, but, and then everybody's in compliance, and it is what it is, and everybody's happy for a year, and then,
If we make a motion and not word it by dropping them, would that
The only issue is it's in the motion because that's what the letter needs to say. So I don't wanna send a letter telling them that they will be dropped if the select board doesn't want that in the letter.
And this
The
is also the
attorney's
advice from
advice is in the
MMA
letter.
and the town attorney.
I don't wanna do it and the motion doesn't say that, and then somebody says, why the hell is the town manager saying he's gonna drop them? If the
Yeah.
motion doesn't say that.
Well, I just think it's a little overreaction on behalf of, I'm sure James is completely not fully understanding of the situation. That my reply to Jesse was not that we didn't want to participate in the program. My reply was that this was a lower, easier option, but we chose the harder option. So now we're being penalized for deciding to do it in-house than just taking the easy way out. So, I mean, they both meet the same goal and the same timeline. So
To
I,
clarify, it wasn't in his reply.
And we're not penalizing you for doing it your own way. I mean,
Okay.
you have two good options.
right, okay, that's fine. I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be fine with it.
Is there any more discussion? Howdy, anything?
I don't know how to vote on this. I just,
I know, I don't wanna, we're not, at least I'm not trying to go against anything to do with the fire department. I wanna support them in any way that we can. It just seems like, there's a very simple solution to me, just to get it done, just to be done with it, and then move forward. And I just think it's a, you know,
yeah, if these guys sign it this time, and then they can work on their own.
yeah, we wouldn't even have to send a letter. I mean, there's nothing that needs to be even sent out.
But he's
As long
already
as it-
refused to do that.
I mean, I first time heard about it Friday night in an email that came out, that this was even a discussion. So, I mean, of course, I'm like, we've already spent 2 weeks working, and in our last meeting, we talked about creating these plans, and then I'm like, oh, okay, so.
Yeah.
Honestly, if the town office feels like we need to come in and sign off on something that we've never looked at, seen, or trained on, and just pencil with it to meet the obligations, then we certainly will, but.
I will say in the future that there is a board of directors, that if some policy like this or letter or threats being sent to the department, that you talk to the board of directors, not as the face of the department, the chief, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just don't know how, it's not a threat, in my opinion. Like, this has nothing,
Right.
I didn't draw this up, this has nothing to do with me. All this is just a, you know, we're gonna lose what we have if you guys, you know, you're on the same policy. If you don't comply with it, then we're gonna lose what we have, which I think the town needs to keep what it has. No, I know, it's a couple $1,000 a year, and I know it all, you know, it's, but, I mean, just, I know this is a long discussion after a motion, but, if we, would it make everybody happy if we just said, the board would, change the motion to, we give 2 weeks to have the fire department come in and sign the, you know, whatever this paperwork is you need, Jesse, and then if it hasn't happened in 2 weeks, then we go back to this point? Does that seem, Keith, like, you know, if it's just sign it, and
Yeah, I mean,
when's our next meeting, is all I'm thinking.
But we have to have this done by September 1st, or we lose our status.
No, that's what I'm saying, when's our next meeting? It's
I believe it's gonna be, if you say
can't
so
say.
at the end, August 7th.
August 7th, alright, so if we gave, what the heck is today? I don't even know what the date is, 17. Alright, so if we say Jesse needs to receive by August 4th, all of your, that just gives him time so he can give it to us for Monday's meeting. And if he receives what he needs signed, whatever the paperwork is signed, so it covers it, then we don't have to have the lawyer draft up a letter or anything else. If we don't receive it by the 7th, then we'll have to do it so that we don't get booted out of it.
Or
Does that sound like a,
Or a decision to sign the boilerplate that.
yeah. But does that sound like, does that leave everybody enough time and everything else? So it will keep it. Jesse?
As long as you have a specific date that a specific thing is completed by.
Okay. What do you want us to phrase this, what do they need to sign?
They either need to adopt their own policies that meets MMA's requirements, or sign that they've received our policies and adopted our policies that meets
Okay.
their requirements.
So if you did what Jesse just said,
Yeah, that's
if
what
you
we're
did that,
looking for.
we need
That's what
that.
you guys are looking for too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanna stay compliant.
Yeah.
But it's just
I don't
not,
like the-
it's just the timeline thing
No,
is
I
like
know.
the only thing that I think there's an issue, right?
Right.
Because you guys are gonna need some time to work on it, it's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah, and that's why I said even if they just adopted the town's one for this, for now. But if they've got until the 4th to get it to Jesse, by the end of the day at the 4th, and that way he can give it to us on the 7th for our meeting. If it's not done, then we'll regroup, and that will keep this from coming up across everything in the time being. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we have to determine how many of the active membership have to participate. Well, picking on Greg Dale, but pretty hard to find him this time of year.
Yeah.
He's usually on a boat.
Do you need a percentage or anything, Jesse, or is it every
I
active?
mean, how are
I
people
know.
to be compliant is one of the.
I
Yeah.
have to ask, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Mine
if you did.
was covered by workers' comp.
And there definitely should be some leeway, because it's a volunteer fire department. I mean, there's gotta be some leeway, because the staff members here are here every day, so to take out 15 minutes for training is a lot easier. I agree with you guys there, and to minimize the amount of training that you need to do is important.
I'm
But
just afraid though, Eric, as looking at it as a workman's comp side of things, I don't think they care.
oh yeah, I know they're a
I
pain.
don't
I've
think-
been dealing with them
because
too.
I deal with this as well.
Yeah, but they don't care that we have the training, we just care that we came.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. No,
Just
no,
as long as
that's
it's
all
fine.
they want.
We don't care. if we-
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm well aware. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just, so, all right, it's been moved, it's been seconded. Do you wanna rescind your motion, or do you wanna vote on it, and then we go from there? Who made the motion?
I made
Mackenzie
the
did.
motion, I think we should vote on it, and then you can make a new motion if you want to, I'm not taking it back.
Okay. All those in favor
Of the motion.
of the motion that you did? Okay, all those opposed? All right, and then if we want to make a new motion, Eric, did you catch what Jesse?
Kind of, yes. So, Jesse, we need to request compliance by the 4th, August 4th, or, the fire department show that they have their own policies, correct?
No.
Or,
Yeah, they need to provide their policies that are in compliance, or,
alright,
Adopt
and
the
then
town's.
adopt ours to be compliant.
alright, yeah, I'm gonna mess this all up.
That works, because we have a training meeting on the 26th, so it'll give the opportunity for people to come to the training to sign if they can. And then
I can make it, Eric, if you want me to.
Yeah, you've got it.
So, I make a motion that we direct the fire department to either adopt the town's, what's the word, Jesse? I wanna get this correct.
Workers' comp safety incentive program. policies.
Adopt, yeah, okay, as it said, but safety, policies for workman's comp, or to create their own, policies
In compliance.
in compliance, and have it to the town manager by the end of the day, August 4th, so that we can have it for our meeting on August 7th.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, not gonna say it again. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? Alright. So,
We do a training at the end of the month and then a business meeting on the second, so we'll try to
Okay.
get stuff knocked out.
okay, sounds good. Alright, next we have the FY 23 audit. And once again, proposal from Jim Wadman. Yeah, I can't say enough about him and his,
I
and
feel
his
like we
crew.
just
They do
finished
a
this though, we're doing it again.
phenomenal job. Yeah. The, sorry, what was the dollar amount in here? I didn't pay attention to that because I didn't.
He doesn't put the
He
dollar
doesn't,
amount.
yeah, just the
Yeah.
estimated the last
Last
year's
year's
was
was-
10,500
10,400
basically, yeah.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to contract with James W. Wadman CPA to complete the town's annual audit for the year ending June 30th, 2023, and to authorize the chair to sign the proposal.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to contract with James W. Wadman CPA to complete the town's annual audit for the year ending June 30th, 2023, and to authorize the chair to sign the proposal. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Alright, next we have 175th celebration donations. I just wanna say, I wanna make sure, I know Jesse, you probably had this, I've been nonstop working, but I wanna make sure we thank everyone that helped out with that. That was just, I thought it went off, couldn't have gone off any better. It was awesome, at the school, especially with the weather, everybody was, it was full there. It was full down at the lobster bake, we had so many volunteers, it was just, for kind of a nasty day, I think you couldn't have had a better turnout. I think it was great.
Yeah, it was. So now that the donations have been tallied, we have an excess of $4,938, after all the expenses, and that does presume that we'll sell all the t-shirts, to cover the expense of the t-shirts, which have been selling, pretty good. We're running out of sizes, so there's not really a reason to expect we won't sell the rest of them. I wanted to check and see, if you have any thoughts on what you might want to do with the remaining funds. The 175th committee has some ideas for smaller events for the remainder of the year. Nothing I've heard that is gonna cost too much to hold, but you could leave the funds available in case there's expenses related to those as they come up. Or you could choose to do something specific related to the celebration, at some point this year. Or you could choose to wait until it's over and determine if you wanna donate the funds or put them towards some other, use or purpose for the town.
I have heard nothing but good things about how it went, and I'm open to any ideas. I'm sure there's lots of great ideas for the fall too, but I'd like to see it happen again, and
I was gonna
probably,
say, put it towards make it an annual event.
yeah, we need to, I don't know, the committee obviously is not gonna be the 175th committee forever, but if it's the something committee, I think they did a great job.
Be 176, actually.
Yeah, 170, yeah, 176 committee. Love to see a lobster bake that went on similar to that,
Yeah.
that went
Yeah.
great.
Just anything like that the community can all participate in.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
there's been discussion of kind of revamping, so people are interested in newer revamped version of the rec board,
Mhm.
sort of more like events committee type thing for future events, so I have heard from a lot of people that would like us to do it again. ideas, people seem to be excited about it after that.
So we could just save the money and just kind of see if something.
Yeah, if we, yeah, at some point in the next couple months, you could designate a reserve account to put it in, if you want.
But if the 175th committee comes up with an idea for this fall, I don't want them to think we're shooting it down, because I
Right.
think, you know, if they come up with something, they worked hard, so, then
But they could get at that
I'm
money,
all
right?
ears for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, okay.
I just think that if we did it again, I've heard people say it just reminds you of when we used to, what was it, 10+ years ago, whenever the boat races started, fireworks. There were always fireworks the night before. And yeah, plug your ears, just I don't even wanna hear the comments, but, if, you know, there was a ton of people and everybody, you know, the community got together, it was fun, and that's what, it seemed like that all over again. So it'd be good to set up and kinda have a weekend around. Alan used to have that car show down here, and it's just, yeah, it's great to see, so. You need a new name for a more streamlined version, a little different than the traditional rec board, but the events board or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
I was just gonna say that the Historical Society's already planned something for, it's either October.
Okay.
With the seafood catch.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they're gonna be needing finances for that, I don't think so, I think
Mhm.
we'll be able to put it on our own.
Okay. I know, and it's too bad. Maybe make sure that the 175th know that that's, that they are gonna do something, maybe tie something in the same weekend or whatever.
I can't remember what the exact plan is, but I
Yeah.
know that there's something in the works.
Yep,
It's
good.
Yeah, Nan Lincoln is on the committee and on the Historical Society.
Oh, okay.
Captain
Yep.
Crowd is.
And Kathy, yeah, so.
No, I'd love to see it happen again. And we've thanked Archie's for letting us use their facility too. It's a perfect location to get
Shit, awesome.
people in and out of, and even when it's
Yeah.
raining, put them, you know, be able to put stuff inside. Perfect.
Lobsters, I mean, parking was the one spot and so were the lobster cookers.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you ought to stick to your boiling and leave the steamer right alone. So, do you need a motion on that, Jesse? No? Okay. All right, town manager's report.
Hang on.
Jamie, she had
Oh.
a question.
Sorry.
I thought you were about done, I just wanted to make a request as we go through with the Park Commission. Over the 10 years that I've been on the board, there's been no communication with the board or from me actually with what goes on. And I listen and I respond, as things come up, and it would be very helpful if you identify issues related to the park.
Mhm.
You can let me know,
Okay.
and I can let you know as I'm addressing things that I know.
Mm-hmm. Parking.
She doesn't wanna
Everybody
hear
knows,
that
I
one.
know.
She's like, no.
Yeah, I know, the lighthouse park. I was at the post office a week or so ago, and these people came in with a they had a camper, and they asked the postmistress where they could park, because they said, we can't park on the road, you can't park down below, we're not supposed to park at the corner now, like, where do we park? And I can understand though, like, where, they really don't know where they can park to go visit it, so it's too bad that it's,
I'm pushing for a trail from wherever the Explorer would drop them off,
yep,
because the park owns all that land,
yeah.
shoreland. And the hikers would like it, that they could pick up the Explorer at the end of the trail.
I think it's a great idea, but best of luck to you, I can tell you that.
I'm interested and have not met with enthusiasm, but I'm not.
Yeah. When I mentioned the parking lot, I think it was like, we'll talk about it in 7 years. Okay.
Is there some place in town where there is a parking lot where some business could start a shuttle service?
Yeah, I
And they
think,
could make money, they could charge people to get on, I mean,
I know.
there's somebody operating a shuttle now that goes up to Cadillac Mountain.
yeah, we've talked about this a lot before, and it's just about getting the right piece of property around and getting a spot where people could park, even, I mean, paid parking, so it paid for itself, and then, yeah, shuttle people down
Well, when
and be able.
school is out, could we lease the parking lot to somebody?
No,
There's a good problem with having, like owning a restaurant. You
Yeah.
have too many parking spaces and not enough tables. It's kind of
Yeah.
nice that there's bottleneck, so that
Yeah.
there's only 200 people at the White House, not 1,000.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited about getting 1,000 people down there.
I know.
We have it for all.
I just thought of these people though with a, you know, if you traveled in a camper and you're like, where, like literally, where do I park? How do you know, they've got all their stuff on their camper, where do I go? Where do I park? And there's
Stay
just-
right at the damn campground.
Yeah.
Take the Island Explorer.
Yeah, they should have stayed at the campground right there, yeah.
It's at the firehouse.
Yeah. Well, that can be our plan for the parking area down beside the post office. There you go. You can paid hourly parking right there, Jesse.
For RVs?
No, for anything,
Oh, okay.
doesn't matter. We can put anything you want. You pay enough, we'll put whatever you want in there. All right, town manager's report.
All right, over the last, several weeks, I had a introductory meeting, a Zoom meeting with MapGeo, which is the company that's gonna be putting the, tax maps on the website, the interactive tax maps. And it looks like they're reviewing our data, but it looks like they'll be able to import our, mooring data as well. So you'll be able to click on a mooring and it'll tell you who owns that mooring, on the map, in addition to the tax parcels. I attended the League of Towns meeting, scheduled a random drug test for Public Works, prepped for town clerk interviews, attended the, Board of Appeals meeting and worked on scheduling their next Board of Appeals meeting. Attended the Harbor Committee meeting, conducted some interviews for town clerk. The new deputy code enforcement officer started, so I was busy onboarding her and getting her set up. I met with the solar rep from the Climate to Thrive about some solar issues. Filed the quarterly, Community Resilience Partnership Grant Report, prepared for, set up the room and everything for the comp plan meeting. Meeting prep and financial reports for this meeting. I called Maine Drinking Water regarding the well at Seal Cove at the request of the Harbor Committee. I processed payroll last week, while the bookkeeper was out, and had discussions with Maine Municipal. Office staff, the clerk was doing BMV reports, preparing oaths, updating the website with the committee appointments and tax commitment preparations. Public Works, busy mowing and trimming cemeteries, putting up a new, street sign post at Ann's Point. Marked out Clark Point Road, for culvert replacement, cleaned around the ice rink shed. Made a pad for the shed down here next to Public Works, cleaned up the rock piles out in front of the town office. Went to Bangor for sander parts, put up a new sign at the, by the dumpster at the wharf. Changed the radar sign battery, did trash pickup at Back Beach and Seal Cove, trimmed around Pacific Hall, serviced the case, town office mowing and the trail mowing out to the solar panels. Started road work, ditching and culvert replacement on Kellytown, patched some potholes on Dodge Point, cleaned up shoulders on Clark Point, and changed a cross pipe on the south end of Clark Point. Harbor Master was, did prep for the boat races, cleaning up the wharf, moving traps, got some hoist quotes for the Harbor Committee meeting, had a race safety, meeting ahead of the boat races, cleaned up after the boat races, prepared for the Harbor Committee meeting, worked on mooring permits, stacked up all the traps, over here by Public Works, did a run out to Gotts Island to check on things up there, dealt with a sailboat that hit a ledge in the harbor, went out in the skiff that evening, surveyed it for damage, it refloated around 2 AM. Called Gotts, when the dumpster was overflowing, did some maintenance on Seal Cove floats, put in the no wake buoy in Seal Cove, started collecting mooring late fees, and, was busy getting sternmen parked in the correct parking lot. Over the next few weeks, I will be, tax commitment tomorrow, and continuing the town clerk interviews and hopefully hiring.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Said two quick things for you on that. I just, the no wake buoy, did you notice if they're in Bass Harbor? Yeah, Eric, I just had.
Yeah, there's one there, but
There's
it
one
should
there
be
now.
further
Okay.
out.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know, cause as of, a few days ago, it wasn't there, so I just wanted to be sure he put
Yeah,
that one
it's
out too,
there.
cause it's usually out in 1st of June, I would say.
No one
and-
can see it, it's too foggy probably.
Yeah, probably, no, that's why I didn't say much, cause it's been,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. The water supply for the Seal Cove, did they tell you anything about that?
Yes, so he said that if, we want to use it for the dock, for
Yeah.
commercial boating, as long as we put a sign on it that says not for drinking,
Then
then
you're
we
fine.
can use it, no issue.
Yeah.
He said public use for the picnic area, we just have to go through new well approval through him, and it would require monthly testing. And there'd be additional testing due to its location to the ocean, so it sounded like it would be around 100 to 120 a month testing for.
That's if you used it for the picnic area,
Yeah.
but not for if you just used it for the boat, for the dock,
There's
it
no
wouldn't, no
testing
testing,
required.
okay.
Yep.
I just wasn't sure, cause I was that was at that same harbor committee meeting I was at, I was curious.
Yep.
Alright, suggestions for the next meeting? Date of the next meeting?
So on here, we previously just had one meeting in August on the 14th. The bookkeeper asked me about the possibility of moving it up to the 7th, as she's gonna be away, and it will make it difficult to prepare the warrants and everything for the 14th. We also have a potential presentation from FEMA and Maine Emergency Management. Back last winter, we got that FEMA grant, which was a technical assistance grant. And they write a proposed grant to go to FEMA for, essentially the whole wharf to make it, sustainable to sea level rise and storm surge. So they've been working on that and would like to present that to the select board, or present their progress to the select board on, they were planning on August 14th, which was your next meeting. They've said they'd like 45 minutes for the presentation. So I thought with those two things combined, we could move your regular meeting to the 7th, which is a normal select board meeting night anyways, and then just have that presentation on the 14th, no regular business on the 14th, if that sounded okay.
We couldn't put them in on the 7th too? Or-
No, cause they have a bunch of people that are already scheduled for.
Okay. Yeah, well, we've already said we're gonna meet the 7th anyway here, so we have to meet the 7th now, at least, and then,
I'll make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, August 7th at 5 PM at the town office.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, August 7th, 5 PM, right here at town office. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion to adjourn? All those in favor? That's a long meeting for us. Wow. Have a good evening. My pen is crapping out.
You should throw that away.